What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another one. If you're new to the channel, I'm Gold Pony. I do new car, truck, SUV reviews on YouTube, and today we're in the brand new 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, courtesy of Younger Mitsubishi in Hagerstown, Maryland. For more information on their inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. And so we're in this one today because there is one major change for the 2023 Outlander Sport. Not only that, you have affordable starting price point for an SUV, so we'll be touching on that in a second. You also get America's best warranty, being 5 years, 60,000 mile, bumper to bumper, 10 years, 100,000 miles on the powertrain. But the coolest part about that warranty is if you get it from Younger here in Hagerstown, they actually give you a double powertrain warranty that can be used nationwide, anywhere in the US. So 20 years, 200,000 miles on the powertrain. So that is pretty darn impressive. So ultimately in this video, we will be testing out and going over everything about this one, from acceleration to braking, steering feel, ride quality, sound system, exhaust clip, all that fun stuff. So having said all of that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so as you can imagine, there are several trim levels for the 2023 Outlander Sport. First one being the 2.0S for $22,995, which is a modest $1,500 price bump from the 2022 model year. And I'll explain why in a second here. But 2.0 ES for $24,995, 2.0 LE, which is the one we are in today, starting at $25,945, 2.0 SE for $27,245, and lastly the 2.4 GT starting at $28,045. And so as you can imagine by the trim levels there are two different engine configurations available for the Outlander Sport. First one, of course, belonging to all the trim levels with the 2.0 in it. Powering that one is a 2-liter naturally aspirated inline 4-cylinder, 148 horsepower at 6,000 RPM, 145 pound-feet of torque, coming in at 4,200 RPM. Power sent to all 4 wheels only. And so for the 2022 model year, it was less expensive because the standard configuration was front-wheel drive. Now Mitsubishi is giving all-wheel control, which is their 4-wheel drive system bred for rally racing, coming standard on every single trim level across the board. So no longer is front-wheel drive even available for the Outlander Sport. But anyways, power is going to be sent to the ground through a CVT, aka continuously variable transmission. 0 to 60 time coming in at approximately 8.7 seconds for that engine setup, with MPG numbers coming in at 23 in the city, 29 on the highway, taking regular unleaded fuel. But so then there is that other engine configuration, of course, belonging to the GT trim level. That one is powered by a 2.4-liter naturally aspirated inline 4-cylinder, 168 horsepower at 6,000 RPM, 167 pound-feet of torque, coming in at 4,100 RPM, again sent to all 4 wheels through a CVT. 0 to 60 time for that one, approximately 8 seconds flat, with MPG numbers coming in at 23 in the city, 28 on the highway, but yet again taking regular unleaded fuel. And so now that we got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's put that acceleration here to the test. And again, we do have the 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder with us here today, but let's go ahead and put this thing to the test and let's see how quickly we can get the new Outlander Sport here up to speed. All right, here is our straightaway. Let's see. No slipping, that's good. So it is wet out. Yeah, you shouldn't have any issues emerging onto the highway. That's definitely not that bad, so I don't mind that. Not the quickest thing in the world, of course, but it will get the job done, and that's all you really need in an SUV like this, is a point A to point B kind of SUV. This certainly isn't a race car or anything like that. So like I said, it'll get the job done. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. And so up front, you will find 11.6-inch ventilated front discs. In the back, 11.9-inch solid rear disc. As far as this 6E0 stopping distance goes, it's actually going to come in at a very impressive 118 feet. So as far as braking feel goes, it's great. It's wonderful here in the Outlander Sport. I love it. Definitely leans on the firmer side of things, instantly brings you to a stop. And that 118-foot number, honestly, that's proof in itself, because typically in SUVs, you're gonna find mid-120s, if not upper 130s I've seen it in. So 118 feet, that is sport sedan good. That's typically what I see in sport sedan. So brilliant number, excellent braking here in the Outlander Sport without a doubt. Then touching on suspension and handling, up front you're going to get a McPherson strut front suspension, in the back independent multi-link rear suspension, front and rear stabilizer bars. As far as ride quality goes, it's actually not that bad. I'm cruising right now. It's a very smooth road in Hagerstown, but still, nonetheless, I don't mind the ride quality. It feels perfectly fine, so no issues there. As far as steering feel goes, it's one of the first things I noticed when I first got in this one. Now, there's no fancy driving modes to make the steering feel heavier or looser texture or anything like that. But having said that, this is one of the first things I noticed because it does definitely tend to lean on the heavier side of things. So it's weighted as a heavier steering feel, which I personally prefer. It instantly points you in the direction that you want to go. So I personally love this steering feel here on the Outlander Sport, because a lot of times in SUVs, you get this loosey-goosey steering feel that I'm not a fan of, and I say that all the time, but the Outlander Sport, it feels good. I like it. But anyways, cabin noise, touching on cabin noise, we're going 55 miles per hour right now. I'll let you guys be the judge of that. Wind noise is almost non-existent. It's quite brilliant. There's maybe a little bit of road noise, but for the most part, cabin noise is pretty darn good as well. So far batting 1,000 here. Touching on visibility, I can see perfectly fine out the back. In smaller SUVs, you're not gonna have any issues there. And due to the shape of this SUV, you really shouldn't have any issues there. But one of the cool things about forward visibility is that rain sensing windshield wipers actually do come standard on every single trim level of the Outlander Sport. So I am a huge fan of that. I'm actually looking at it right now. It says auto on it. So it's kind of like automatic headlights. So whenever the Outlander Sport detects any kind of mist or rainfall, it's gonna automatically turn on those windshield wipers for you. So it's just one less thing you got to worry about, so you can better focus your attention on actually enjoying the drive here in the Outlander Sport. But that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, you guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, finished in Labrador Black Pearl, in case you were curious of our exterior color name. But let me go ahead and start with where this one is made. The VIN number does begin with the letter J, indicating that this is made in Japan, built and assembled in Japan. It's almost completely in Japan, so 100% JDM. But anyways, let's go ahead and start up front of the Outlander Sport here. Full LED headlights do come standard for every single trim level across the board. I personally love that. Full LED headlights, although they are reflector and not projector, but the full LED headlights, meaning both low beam and high beam, are going to be LEDs. So you don't always find that still right now. So I'm a big fan of that. You do get the automatic feature, of course. You also get LED daytime running lights, and automatic high beams do come standard for every single trim level across the board. Essentially what that is when you have your high beams on at night, and it senses a vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim that back to low beams. Then when the vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically then bounce it back up to high beams. So very convenient feature there. If you were to go with the ES trim level and up, you will also get LED fog lights down below. Big fan of that. And of course, you got some chrome trim accenting kind of surrounding those fog lights and the headlights all together up front there as well. So pretty much looks like last year for the most part. I do like the black accents that we have on our LE trim level. You guys are going to notice that there's a bunch of black accents. Essentially, it's kind of like the sport trim level of the Outlander Sport, the LE that we have today. So did want to mention that up front, but that pretty much rounds out the front end of this one. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the side. All right, so let's go ahead and start up top on the Outlander Sport here. Black roof rails are going to come on the GT trim level only. If you wanted those, black window surrounds are going to come standard. Rear privacy glass also coming standard as well. You're going to find some chrome accents on those front fenders, and I like how the turn signal indicators are integrated into that front fender accent as well. A very JDM thing. Japan has done that for a while now instead of putting it in the side mirror, so I actually love that design. Taking a look at the side mirrors, speaking of, body colored power adjustable side mirrors do come standard. Black side mirrors coming with the LE. And again, we have the black exterior, so it's kind of less noticeable, of course. But anyways, integrated turn signals, so you can get them in the side mirrors if you go with the SE trim level and up. And actually, all trim levels are going to get heated side mirrors as well, so I do like that. Then take a look down at the wheel configuration. 16-inch steel wheels with covers coming with the S. 18-inch two-tone alloys coming with the ES, SE, and GT trim levels. And then lastly, 18-inch black painted alloys coming with our LE trim level that we have with us here today, again with the black accents. But that pretty much rounds out the side profile. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the back. All right, so but now since we are around to the back of the Outlander Sport, all the way to the top, you will find that body-colored shark fin antenna, of course. Just below that, rear spoiler with an integrated brake light. Just below that, rear window wiper. You do have the trim level badging found on the lift gate there itself. You got the four-wheel drive badging found on the rear window there, of course, because every single trim level now comes with Mitsubishi's all-wheel control system, which is a four-wheel drive system. LED taillights, though, coming standard for every single trim level across the board. Still, many manufacturers are putting halogen bulbs for the taillights, so gotta love the added illumination at night there. Then if you were to go all the way down to the bottom, you will find a single exhaust outlet tucked away there. So I do believe you guys know what we have to do next here. As always, here is that exhaust clip. Alright, so but now since we are around to the back of the Outlander Sport, when it comes to opening that rear tailgate, it is a manual tailgate for all trim levels across the board. So simply just lift up on that rear tailgate and it is going to obviously open up for you. But once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at 21.7 cubic feet. If that was not enough space, of course, the rear seats do fold down, bumping that up to 49.5 cubic feet. There is some cargo lighting back there. It is in the form of a halogen bulb as opposed to the LEDs. Cargo cover is back there as well. There are tie-down anchors. There is a grocery bag hook found on the driver's side in the back there. Cargo nets are going to be available, and there is some indented storage kind of in the back two corners in the cargo area as well, so I like that. And then if you were to lift up underneath of that cargo floor, you are going to find a spare tire as opposed to the fix-a-flat, which I personally prefer. Then making our way up to the rear legroom, that is going to come in at 36.3 inches. For reference, I'm an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had in this rear seats there. Rear center armrest with cup holders is going to come standard for every single trim level across the board. I like that. And there are dual rear USB charging ports for the LE trim level and up. So it is a USB-A and a USB-C if you're wondering about that, but I do like that we have those as well. But then making our way up to the front seats, manually adjustable cloth seating coming with the S, ES, and LE trim levels. Heated front seats then coming with the LE trim level and up. Leather seating coming with the GT, and then a leather suede combination coming with the SE trim level. And so we got these manually adjustable cloth seats. They aren't bad. Of course, wouldn't have minded power adjustable with power lumbar for the ultimate comfort, but having said that, I've gotten by perfectly fine so far on my short test drive, so they're not bad so far. Then take a look at the steering wheel. It is tilt and telescoping. It is leather wrapped for the LE trim level and up, so I like that. And you got some gloss black finishes towards the bottom portion of that steering wheel as well. Then making our way to the startup, let me start by showing you guys the key here. You got your Mitsubishi logo on the one side. Then when you flip it over, lock and unlock, pretty much as basic of a key as you could possibly get. But if you wanted to push button start, go with the SE or GT trim levels. Otherwise, I'm just simply going to put my foot on the brake and turn the key. And so when it comes to the gauges here, tachometer is all the way to your left, speedometer is on your right, and there is a small digital display front and center, giving you things like trip A, trip B. Of course, there's your odometer, there's your fuel information, and it actually does give you your outside temperature as well. But I will say I wouldn't have minded seeing a digital gauge cluster, or at least a digital speedometer up there. But now let's go ahead and make our way to overall interior quality. Auto dimming rear view mirror coming standard for all trim levels across the board. That's something you don't usually see for all trim levels in this price range, so I did want to emphasize that. Home light controls coming with the GT trim level. Automatic climate control coming standard for all trim levels across the board. That's going to be that dial on your left there. Then you simply just press in on the middle dial to set it to auto. One of the things I do like about the interior quality here is just surrounding the shifter, you got some chrome trim, and then you have some texturized silver trim kind of surrounding the four-wheel drive button, which you could set it in full four-wheel drive mode if you wanted to. There's a little bit of rubberized storage just in front of that. Just behind the shifter though, you do have your dual cup holders, your manual parking brake, and within the center armrest, decent amount of storage, and there is a 12-volt power outlet in there as well. So overall, when it comes to interior quality, it is pretty much on the basic side, but it should get the job done for you. But anyways, let's now go ahead and make our way to the infotainment screen here. 7-inch color touchscreen display is going to come with the S and ES trim levels. LE trim level and up though is going to give you an 8-inch color touchscreen display. That of course is what you guys are looking at right now. Bluetooth and audio streaming coming standard, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay only for the LE trim level and up. So I want to emphasize that if you go with the S or the ES trim level, you're not going to get Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, which is kind of unheard of these days. So again, anyways, then of course you can also adjust your radio information up there. And so when it comes to the sound systems, there's 2 of them. 4 speakers is going to come with the S, ES, and LE trim levels, and then 6 speakers is going to come on the SE and GT trim levels. So having said that, we do of course have that 4-speaker sound system since we have the LE. So let's go ahead and turn on the radio, see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. All right. So 4 speakers, obviously, I think you guys pretty much know how that's going to sound. Clarity wasn't there. The bass was okay. I don't mind the bass, but clarity was definitely a bit muffled as you went up in volume. So I did want to say that 6-speaker sound system is definitely where you're going to want to be at with this. Or of course, there's aftermarket sound systems if you really wanted it. But anyways, last thing I want to mention to you guys on the infotainment screen is when you do put the Outlander Sport in reverse, you will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board, which is always going to lead us into safety. And so front side current airbags do come standard. Driver's knee airbag up front as well. In the back, you're going to have latch, aka lower anchors and tethers for children for the rear car seats. rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system. Then also coming standard, forward collision mitigation system with pedestrian detection, lane departure warning, and then the SE and GT trim levels are going to add to that blind spot monitoring system with rear cross traffic alert and lane change assist then as well. And so overall, when it comes to my final thoughts of the Outlander Sport here, great starting price point. I got to give them credit for that. And everything comes standard with a rally inspired 4-wheel drive system, all-wheel control. So that is pretty darn cool as well. You do get America's best warranty. And if you get it at younger, again, a 20 or 200,000 mile powertrain warranty. So that's pretty cool. I love that LED exterior lighting is standard. So that includes the headlights and the taillights, of course, as well. So big fan of that. As far as room for improvement goes, very basic interior quality, very, very basic sound system. And quite honestly, this one is kind of overdue for a redesign at this point. So did want to mention that as well. But anyways, let me know what you guys think of the Outlander Sport in the comments section below. And that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media if you wanted to see what's coming next on the channel before it gets to YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews. That is what we do here on this channel after all. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay gold.